Hey guys, Augiesaint here and welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I want to talk to you guys about the upcoming class known as the Breaker. Are you guys ready, and which is the build for you? As of right now, it has been clarified that our version will be called the Brawl King Storm and Ashura's Path, but I might refer to it as Kingfist and Ashura's Path because that's just what I have in my brain already. Kingfist being the spec version and Ashura's Path being the front attack JoJo's Bizarre Adventure version. So without further ado, let's just hop straight into it. We do have the Breaker community guide up over at Lost Ark Nexus. I'll leave this down below in the description for you guys so you can go ahead and check it out. Quick links, Brawl King Storm, Ashura's Path. So let's just talk about what's the difference really between the builds. And actually if you scroll down here, they give you a nice little summary of it. So Brawl King Storm, obviously Kingfist is the spec one, focuses on massive burst skills, easy to play, non-positional, but the uptime requirement is also not very high, so that is a pro. And then the cons of it is it has low mobility, although the mobility is actually not that low because it does have a really good movement skill, and you're a little bit more tankier than any other class anyway because you're like a martial artist male, so not bad on the mobility I would say, but you are a spec class, you are slower, you do have a good movement skill though. Ashura's Path focuses on a flurry of hits, amazing defense, normal skills don't always have to hit. You have 2 counters, but the cons are it is front attacking and you must always be casting skills, so we refer to this as a shadow boxing because you have to rotate your stamina skill and a shock skill over and over and over to actually build up your meter so you can actually then use your meter and then just do those, million punch little jabs that does, I think, is it 40% of your damage? Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Ashura's Path is a huge emphasis on the damage from actual like alt move, your Z move. So first up, we got Brawl King Storm. The playstyle, the build focuses on grand and powerful skills that consume your entire shock gauge to deal massive amounts of damage. The rest of the kit works to generate shock gauge as well as meter, allowing you to enter Brawl King stance. During the state, you can use Failing Blossom, which is your strongest and most imposing skill. Stat allocation, obviously you are going full spec on it, with spec crit on the neck and spec crit on the bracelet. You will be playing with the hallucination set, and this is what you're looking at for your core engravings, is obviously the class 1 Kingfist, Grudge, Supercharge and Keen Blunt. So even though you are a spec class, it may be a little bit cheaper just because of having Supercharge, and then go ahead and pick one of these as your 5th. If I was going to pick one, I would probably either go with Curse, Dole, Hit... Oh, actually, this is pretty tight because I do like Adrenaline because I hate not critting. So I would probably go with Adrenaline as my 5th, but it really depends on your elixirs. Once you get 1600 or 1620, actually start cutting elixirs. If you get the crit one, then obviously you can drop the Adrenaline and rather go maybe for Curse, Dole for a little bit more damage, although it's about roughly the same. Just pick one. Hitmaster is also really good, but it doesn't work on your awakening skill, so just remember that awakening does hit hard, but it doesn't benefit on the Hitmaster, so it's really up to you, personal pref. I would probably go with Adrenaline because I like critting. Unless I get lucky with elixirs, then I would probably go Hitmaster because I'm not a fan of Cursed Doll. And your plus 1, either Ether Predator or Adrenaline 1, I would say probably Ether Predator because I don't like having Adrenaline 1. Like I said, I like that crit, so this is probably what I would do for my 5x3 plus 1. There's some notes over there, skills, runes, it's all the setup of it. I will leave it down below. This is also a work in progress, but they did say this is all up to date, the current patch over in KR. So just keep that all in mind. That gives you a little bit of tripod. So like all these red ones are the really important ones. Seems like it's really heavy on the tripods. Obviously you do need to be building gauge. Those are all gauge builders over there, it seems. That's gauge, 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 gauge. So 4 over there. So there's 4 really important ones there. And then there's 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 10 total really important tripods you want to get. Seems like it's pretty heavy on the tripods, but I would probably prioritize these gauge building ones first. So these 3 and this one over there. And there's your rotation, your mutagen, your burst rotation, and your stagger if you need to hit some high stagger. There's explanation of everything. We're not going to go through all of this as I'm just really touching on if you guys are ready and what to build and everything like that. There's your spec breakpoints. As well as one thing to keep in mind, you do need to go ahead and get your second wealth rune, your second rare wealth rune from Sea Bounties. I myself am 1 wealth rune away from it, so I'm going to be working on that. I just need 1. I have a few days before we actually get this, but I'm probably going to be playing Ashura's before I play Kingfist anyway. There's standard raid build, frequently asked questions, all the stuff. So now we're on to the one that I actually want to play, Ashura's Path. This is the front attacking, full crit, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure one. So this is what I'm going to be going. You're going to be building full crit with crit swift on the neck and crit swift on the bracelet. In your gear set, you'll be using entropy, as you are going to be front attacking. Your engravings are Ashura's Grudge, Master Brawler, Raid Captain. That is your core ones. Then you have a choice of either Keen Blunt or Adrenaline. I would probably go with Adrenaline, as I've heard that the way Ashura's path works is that it actually increases your damage by your crit chance. So you want to always have 6 Adrenaline stacks going into your really super fast punchy mode. So I'm probably going to go with Adrenaline. Plus, I really hate Keen Blunt Weapon. If you guys have seen any of my streams or stuff recently on my Sork, Keen Blunt Weapon procs for me 9 out of 10 times and just makes my damage smudge and I want to cry and just delete my Sork. But it is what it is. So those are the builds you're looking at. Example engravings with the 5x. This one I would probably swap over the Keen Blunt, and then if I do get a +1, I would probably still keep Adrenaline and then get like an Ether Predator level 1, like that pretty much. That's probably what I would end up with. I'm just not a fan of Keen Blunt Weapon. Yeah, it's your skills, runes, and gems. Now, as far as damage gems go, 1, 2, 3, it seems you need like 4 really big damage gems, but the biggest emphasis will probably be on your... Is it this one? Is this your thingy? No, it's got to be the one. I'm not sure which one of these is actually your meter, like your Z skill, whatever it is, where you just start punching really hard, but you definitely want to have your biggest damage gem on that, I would suggest. Moving on to the Awakening. Okay, they use Butterfly Sting on that. Gem Party there. Okay, it's that one over there. See the little red dude? Prioritize getting the highest damage gem you can on that one first, and then obviously this one, and then the rest as you see fit. Tripods, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really important tripods. A little bit cheaper on the tripod side of things there, not too bad. Rotation, there's your rotation. Priority order, shock, so you just always have to rotate your skills. So your shock are the green and the blue ones, I believe, and then your stamina are the yellow ones. Keep that all in mind. Obviously, I will be touching on this more in depth and actually giving my own version and like overview of the class once I can get my hands on it. But as of right now, I'm just going off what I have heard and learned from Mr. Sainto and Mr. Benji regarding both of the builds. Raid build, critical, so there's just a couple more raid builds. There is some frequently asked questions. Do you have the front attack? All of the skills, including basic attacks during a SHURA state, have a front attack affix. The bonus of these attacks is 10% stagger and 20% damage, so that is actually pretty huge. Positional gameplay is not negotiable for this build. So do you only have to do it on some attacks? No, you have to front attack all the time. And then defensive speculation, your X is really strong as it grants you push immunity, 40% max HP shield, 20% damage reduction, and 50% legion rage gauge. So for example, like Clown, Vicus, Akan, like all the stuff where your gauge builds up and you get closer to being turned. For Vicus or Akan, you get the green. The gooiness, it actually gives you 50% reduction. That's actually pretty huge. I did not know that until reading this, so that's really good to know. How does meter generation work? There's all this stuff. Ashura's attack, hold or tap. Okay, you're probably gonna have to tap it. We're gonna have to play around with that and see if we have to end up making a macro. Although I have heard Saintone say you don't have to make a macro. I think he just clicks it and maybe hits C. I'm not sure. We'll have to try once we actually get it. And then the adrenaline upkeep, you can actually use your shield, I have heard. So this does actually proc your adrenaline. So you can go to like, while you're actually doing your super punching mode, because I think it lasts 5 to 6 seconds depending on how fast you spam it. So obviously that's just long enough for adrenaline to fall off. So midway through you could go ahead and pop your shield and you could refresh your adrenaline stacks. But that is all I have for you guys on the quick little overview. My little rundown: if you like positional attacks and you want to try and get the most damage out of your breaker, you like to have like very active fast gameplay, I would recommend Ashura's Path. If you like to hit really big but a much slower, more methodical gameplay, I would suggest then Brawl King Storm for you. That is the spec one. They still hit very hard, and I think they're still an S tier damage class. With Brawl King, I believe both are S, but Ashura's Path does edge it out a little bit more by doing a little bit more damage, but it's obviously a lot harder to achieve that. So the ceiling of Ashura is much higher. The floor is much lower, obviously, than Brawl King, where the floor is much higher and the ceiling is a little bit lower than Ashura's Path. So keep that all in mind and drop by the streams. I'd love to see you guys there. In about 3 days from now, we're going to be pumping Breaker as hard as we can. I'm super excited. We're going to try out Ashura's Path. If we don't actually like it and the front attacking is too much, because I've never played a front attack before, we'll just switch on over to Brawl King, as it looks really good too, and I like big juicy igniter numbers. That is it for this video. Hopefully it helped you guys out, gave you some insight on the Breaker. Love to see you in the streams, and if you like this video, please drop a like and a sub to the channel. It helps me out so much, and I'll catch you beautiful people in the streams or the next one. Wherever I see you, have a good day. Take care. Augiesaint now.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so